Unconditional love to all life everywhere. I'm Olo, Thoth, code in the cosmos, sending me heart, love, and energy. Okay, so today's topic is Kundalini, and this is the second video on Kundalini, so I'd recommend first to watch the Sacred Relationship video, and then Kundalini 1, and then this video. To put it all in context and all of that. It's the order that Spirit has guided me to do these videos, and the guidance is offering you to watch them in the same order. My intention with this video is to offer healing to any sexual distortions one may carry, and to bring the true divinity into sexuality and relationships in order to invite that Kundalini energy to awaken us to higher levels, or to the perfect love of heaven, rather. So the first thing I wrote is, where is your awareness and what time and place? So I wanted to say that I like the example of the physical eyes and where they are looking, but really it's about the awareness. And if you have some sort of sexual focus in the right or the wrong place, and if you have a not a sexual focus in the right time or the wrong place. And I just wanted to say that, well, sexuality should be focused on a small percentage of the time, and it's not everything. Some people are way too focused on sexuality, and they walk into public with that sort of mentality instead of just enjoying life and the sweet fruits of the tree that we plant, with joy, with experiencing joy and praying for joy and repeating those mantras to reinforce the principles of truth into our minds, so they may be blessed and our lives may be blessed and all may be blessed. So I just wanted to bring that up into your awareness for now, that you shouldn't always have a sexual focus, and to be able to drop that when you want and pick it up when you want and when it is righteous, right? That's a very important thing to think about and contemplate. I want to just dive into the sexual distortions. One of them being anxiety, another being addiction or desperation. So there's this sort of anxiety that comes with having a sexual focus all the time. If you're in public and there's someone there that you don't want to have a sexual focus to, and you're thinking about sexuality all the time, it's going to make you uncomfortable. So you want to direct your mind into a state of joy, into a state of heaven, and let heaven and the kingdom and God and love guide your awareness into something else, something that possibly you can think about or do to keep your flow and natural state of happiness flowing, rather than just being on this sexual kind of journey or whatever. I don't know what to call it. I guess like it's a trivial pursuit at times, you know, to be seeking that all the time, rather than looking at all these other areas of your life and growing them. Really, actually, that is what can attract your ideal partner, is just following your purpose and knowing, having faith that you will meet through the purpose, through your purpose. So the anxiety can happen when we are carrying the sexual thoughts and such, and energies around, when we're in places that we shouldn't be focused on them. And there are ways to sort of shut down that sort of thinking and switch the direction into just peaceful, happy times. And if you really struggle with this sort of sexual anxiety, you might have to find some sort of distraction for yourself to be able to, like if you're on the beach, for example, and you're just focusing on that, just pick up a book or something and get your mind off of it, keep going in your purpose, keep going in your direction of who you want to be in your life, and it will just naturally manifest that there will be these companions that show up in your life to share this beautiful time with you and enjoy the journey of your purpose. There's also addiction and desperation. So there's a great Osho quote I share in, or two Osho quotes I share in the Sacred Relationship video, and it mentions addiction and stuff like that, and how to not become addicted to the other by loving alone, loving yourself, having that nurturance and that self-nurturance, that self-love, to be able to be fulfilled without sex, you know, because it's not everything. It doesn't really even exist in the sense, in the realest sense, if that makes sense. But what it can be a great method to grow in love, though, and to ascend higher, through the joy and through focusing on your purpose, growing who you are, having self-love and all of these things, and living by the abundance mentality that you are a complete being. This is the sort of thing that will heal all of this addiction and desperation for another partner. Some rely on their partner often and way too much. But what I'm offering and letting you know is that you are a complete being and you don't need a partner. You don't need to have sex. You need to be joyful. You need to be living life to the fullest and having these experiences that is a holistic life. It's a holistic mind, you know, to have all of these variety of experiences, not just one direction, you know. It's not a bad thing to, you know, spend the day making love or whatever, and there's no guilt or shame in that. It's a beautiful thing to do for a day, you know, a whole day, why not? But it's as long as it's not distorted and you aren't in desperation and need for this, you know, balance is very important. Lust, addiction to the body, and indulging in the body. So lust is just this, addiction to the body or indulging in the body. And it's an overindulgence. So what we really want to focus on now is seeing our partner, or seeing everyone really, as spirit, as holiness, as sacredness, as that love that they are. Perceive them not as a body, see beyond the body to their true identity, to see all as spirit. Because to see one as separate, to see one as different, is to see yourself as separate and different. So to see someone else as love, you see yourself as love, and this is really what love is all-inclusive, non-selective, unconditional. So we want to repeat the mantra at this time: I am spirit, not a body. I am spirit, not a body. I am spirit, not a body. And we could say that in our minds to the world around us as well. They are spirit, not a body. They are spirit, not a body. They are spirit, not a body. This tree is spirit, not a tree. Whatever, like, and we really heal lust at the deepest level through this mantra and through this knowing and acceptance without stubbornness and resistance, right? Having that willingness to actually accept that we aren't a body and that we are spirit makes a relationship and makes even sex so much better, because that's an invitation for joy and Kundalini and beautiful experiences of completion mentality. So we only perceive lack and we only have lust because we believe we're a body. If we knew we were spirit, we would know we were complete. We would know that that actually indulging in the body is a blockage to love's presence. It is a veil that we place outside of ourselves to trick us out of knowing that we are spirit. So to see the body as an idol and nothing more, nothing less, is the correct perception. We can still love these beings, of course, yes, but to see them as a body is to limit our idea of them, to limit them, and to limit ourselves. So just if you find yourself indulging in the body, repeat a prayer like, Great Spirit, I place you in charge of my value system, of all idols, and my body and my ego, so that I may be happy and peaceful, and so all life may be happy and peaceful. Something like that, so that you can really get the root of the lust, and uproot that and turn it into beautiful love, really. Because, there's not a bad thing, there's nothing wrong with loving everyone, really. Like, there's this thing we call in love and everything, and that's sort of like a romantic special someone, and this is a beautiful thing to have a relationship and everything, but like, just for a basis for Kundalini and for relationships and for sex and for all of this love making, whatever, it's definitely most important to have love in the mix and to be aware of love's presence while having these experiences and these relationships. That will heal the lust, just to focus your mind away from indulging in the body and how that feels, and shift into loving the mind of that being and loving the spirit within them, loving the mind and letting that mind be free and holding space for it to be itself, and be authentic. Focusing on that sort of stuff does heal the lust as well, because you're not feeding some dark tree or plant or whatever. You're not watering it. You're watering the tree of love, and you will taste the sweet fruits of this when you focus on love and how you actually love someone, not just scratching the surface with being obsessed with their body, and then I wanted to bring up the example of the eyes with focus and respect. So the physical eyes I just want you to think about this, like with the awareness thing I said at the beginning of the video, relating it to that. When you walk around town or whatever, or when you walk around people, or when you're by yourself even, where are your eyes? Because I see some, people that are not respectful with their eyes. They're checking out, bodies and getting some little feeling from that and a little chemical in their brain. And it's just wrong, though, to, have that with, strangers and stuff, just to indulge in their body and strangers. This is perverted to me. This is perverted to spirit. And I would say to that we should develop a love and a conversation and communication, and not hide some sort of darkness within us, checking someone out and hiding that, and not really talking to that person and, giving them a beautiful smile the first thing that they see, like instead of them catching you looking at them or something. It's really not right. So I just wanted you to think about your physical eyes, when you're in that cafe, or you're in the mall, or you're, around lots of people, or even by yourself. Where are your eyes? Are you looking respectively with your eyes? Are you, trying to be the most respectful you can? There is this being your best self with your physical eyes, and that's just one area to focus on. But I think it's important to look away from, like, there are no differences in truth. And if we can really get beyond the world, it doesn't really matter where we're looking as long as our awareness is pure. But with the example of the physical eyes, I would say, look away from this temptation of the body, and look away from it until you really find that solution, that thing you never knew you were looking for, that solution of this alternative way of looking with your eyes, that makes the old way, the old perverted way, obsolete and not really matter anymore. Find your life force, your life, your love, and let your purpose shine, and don't let your feelings stop you from achieving your purpose. It's okay to rest and play. But when you want to be doing something, like right now I want to be making a video, just go for it and keep in your purpose. Like, yeah. I wanted to talk about manifestation with fear or love. So I've talked about this a little bit already, but I wanted to talk about like twin flame and manifesting the ideal partner, or the perfect partner, or whatever you want to call it. And it is out of love or fear. So you can manifest anything out of love or fear. And I just want you to, I offer this and recommend that you create out of love, that you manifest out of love. All of this completion mentality, this abundance completion mentality, that we are one complete being, just as one human being, but like as spirit, obviously. But this self being aware of love's presence is enough. It is completion, and we don't really need anything else. We just, it's great to have good experiences though, and Spirit does guide us to have fulfilling, loving experiences. But if you're in the place of loneliness, if you're in the place of lack, if you're in the place of dependency or addiction to the past or something, some past partner or something, that is going to manifest more of that. If you put passionate emotion into being lonely, you will create more of that. If you put love into being lonely, you will create more of that. But if you are neutral to the whole idea of loneliness, you won't create more of it. So what you can really do is every time the idea of loneliness comes up to you, don't bring any emotion into it. Don't let that force be creative. Don't let that thought be creative. Instead, direct the mind to source, to completion, and manifest out of love by being grateful for all of your past experiences and relationships. Be grateful for who you are and that you're doing your purpose and that you want a little companion to join you on this purpose. And that is something that you are worthy of asking and worthy of receiving. And to know that and to be worthy of receiving it, to know you are, is, the other side of the coin. So you have to be able to receive it when the moment comes and be ready, right? But also asking for it to happen naturally in the way of the Spirit, the way the Spirit wills, is going to be the best for all and the best for you. So just trust and have that faith. And don't be lonely, because you're never alone. There's always Spirit within you. There's always all within you. And you always have, someone to talk to, I'm sure, and stuff like that. So I just urge you to create out of love and keep growing who you are, and you will find that companion that is meant for you. I do have faith. Kundalini and psychic abilities like telepathy, visions, and the astral plane. I actually want to share this dream that I had because I really felt like this was related to my experience, of course. I was with this girl, and I ended up having a dream about her the day after meeting her, and it was that, I always have this thing where it's like, the seed of light, that we plant with our loving thoughts, our loving emotions, our loving energy, our loving actions, and we plant this seed of light that grows into a sweet fruit for us to eat later. And that's how manifestation works when we're creating out of love. But this dream, I was holding the fruit, and it was a golden fruit, and it kind of looked like a noni almost from Maui or Hawaii or whatever. But I took a bite of this fruit, and it was golden, and I took a bite of it, and she was with me, and I said to her, "Love is so good," and I just took a bite of it and was just enjoying, and I was just like, "Love is so good," and it was showing her something I felt at the time, in the dream at least, that was very important, and I was planting those seeds in the past, and there's this lag in the material realm for things to be manifested and all, but over time, she appeared, and this was that sweet fruit, I do believe, and that was out of love. It was creation out of love, and I'm very grateful for this. And as well as when you're feeling Kundalini, even at a distance, even halfway across the world or with anyone in the universe or whatever, you can have these Kundalini experiences or awakenings with angels and ascended masters, ETs, or any enlightened beings. For they know this energy well, and you can actually have telepathy with these beings. You can have visions and dreams of this sort of thing. I've had Kundalini awakenings while dreaming before, for example, or I've had a Kundalini experience with someone that was halfway across the world, and we were talking to each other like it was like perfect telepathy and stuff. Like it's really, it's like I said in Kundalini 1, the Kundalini energy opens the channel for psychic abilities and for telepathy and stuff like this. So I just wanted to excite you with that and hope that you find this pure essence of love and joy to open up the channel and allow the Kundalini to flow and allow it to awaken you. I wanted to talk about breath, and the breath is very important for, like this is getting to the love-making topic, and the breath is very important to allow the Kundalini to flow. And you'll notice that Kundalini is activated by the breath, but the breath is also activated by the Kundalini, and they are one in the same. When you're having a Kundalini awakening, you'll be guided to breathe. It's just a natural thing that often happens. So if that ever comes up, you just want to breathe during this lovemaking or something, allow it to flow through you, and it may just be the most powerful lovemaking you've ever had. And guided awareness. So you're guiding through the breath. The breath is the bridge to the non-physical, because it is always the same. It is always a constant reminder to us, a mantra if you will, to be in the present moment with the new breath. And that is the essence of what spirit is. It is present, it is one, and it is eternal. The more we tap into our spirit like self, the more we tap into spirit as who we are, and who our partner is, the better that this lovemaking becomes, and it may be strengthened to, you know, beyond degree, really, because it can be an infinite thing. But sex on its own is really nothing. It's a neutral thing until we give it the meaning that we choose to give it, which is love or fear. And I choose to give all of my relationships fear. Never. It's weird. I meant to say love. Because I just like, I'm questioning why that just came out of my mouth like that, because I was gonna say love, but I said fear, and then I said never, which I mean. And it's okay. I just, sometimes I channel these things, and I guess I had to be clear. My guidance is telling me I had to be clear that I would never share fear in my relationships, and that's my true intention. I just wish, you know, I have faith that I can do this. I can be this loving being, and I am complete in myself, and I'm whole, and I'm happy to have had all of these great companions and stuff in my lifetime, and I just, I'm having my own moment. I shouldn't share my personal life. And then I wanted to say channeling lovemaking. So we can channel sex and everything. Like that's part of what when we're guided to breathe, that's sort of like a channeled state. Like it asks us permission if we want to breathe. And if we say yes, it kind of breathes for us. Like it's like a channeled state. And I've channeled emotions, I've channeled all kinds of things, body movements. I just channeled that word earlier, whatever, and making it clear in that way. But really just praying before any session of lovemaking and just really being pure with the intent and saying, let me channel this, let me be spirit through this body, and let me be aware of love's presence while this lovemaking happens. Quickly wanted to talk about sound and tone. So there is science on sound and tone being very powerful for even our physical structure, as we are vibratory beings, we are frequency. And we're actually wave patterns. If you weren't looking at me, I would be a wave until you look at me, and then I'm solid. I seem solid at least, and I would be particles. That's physics right now, and yeah, so sound and tone is very powerful for this, physical structure, and it can be very healing. But our tone is very important. What energy we infuse with our sound is sort of the tone in this sense. And if we're speaking from a negative tone, well, obviously that's going to create sickness in somewhere, right? And if you have that negative intention and all that and putting it into your tone, that's taking a few steps out of alignment with spirit. So just be mindful of your tone and your sound with your partner, and make sure that they feel loved and cared for and all of that, and respected. Make sure that there's consent, of course, with lovemaking, and with even very subtle things when just beginning a relationship. But yeah, sound and tone is very important, to be mindful of your tone of voice and what you're really putting into the mix, into this big mixing pot or whatever, to make this beautiful, delicious thing or whatever. And then the last thing I wrote down is mind over matter, the value system. So do you really value your partner's mind? What would you be without sex to them? Because that is a question that is important to ask yourself, if you would even be with that person without sexuality. And I mean, that's a great question to ask. And what do you value? Do you value the body over spirit? Do you value the true greatness of your partner over the limited self concept story of the body? This is what questions we should ask each other, because, and it may even be spoken. A good question to ask someone if you want to be with them is, do you love my mind? And do you just love my body? And that may be spoken gently as well, in a kind way, where no one gets offended or takes it personally, right? Eliminating conflict and choosing the miracle over conflict in every situation, being above the battleground, is something you can do. You can choose a miracle in every moment. Right before there's a conflict, just quickly choose a miracle, and everything will be perfect. The miracle is the joining of minds in love's presence. And that's my video. So value the mind over the matter, over the body, and get to know this mind. And maybe, I don't know why I feel guided to say this, but like, a true partner can make their other partner sort of like peak or have a mind orgasm even. Like, it's just this, it's hard to, you can't put it to words, but that's sort of what I want to call it right now. Like, a Kundalini awakening is a full body, full mind orgasm. It's not just in the body. It's not anything to do with the body necessarily. It's to do with revealing who you truly are to you, and opening the channel for you to be joyful and blissful and have this abundance in every area of your life, so that you're not lacking and you're not in fear or scarcity or anything like that, not in the ego mind. So this is my blessing for you today. I hope that you all loved it and enjoyed the video. Many ascended masters have been guiding me to make this video for a while, and I'm happy with how it turned out. And if you need further guidance, ask your guides. Ask your guides and teachers what is right to do next. Of course, guided awareness is very important, and that's the first thing to pray for guided awareness and love. And if you want to check out how to tap into your guides, check out my video guidance on my YouTube channel, Thoth's Wisdom. I love you all. I'm Olo, Thothio, code in the cosmos, sending you heart, love, and energy. Unconditional love.